Hi, welcome back. So it is part 3. It's part 3, network wireless attacks. So it's a list of attacks. It's a hijack and related attacks. Is a clickjacking, session hijacking, URL hijacking, Typo squatting. So Mac spoofing, IP spoofing, is everything's under hijacking. So network wireless attacks is DOS, DDoS, man in the middle attack, amplifications, DNS poisonings, domain hijacking or poisoning, initializations vectors, evil twins, rogues, AP jamming, and bluejacking. So you can see the picture there, right corner. So the first ones you can see there's a man in middle attack is a session hijack. So it's example of the session hijacks. So victim A, and then social networking, how the attackers misuse, the sniffing the information using the hijack. The second picture is, you can see that wireless attacks. How does it happen? So the wireless attack. So here go. So hijacking and related attacks, or clickjackings, tricking a web user into clicking a spoofed button or graphic. So they create the dummy, the spoofed button, so the user not aware of it. They just blindly click the links. It redirect to the suspicious, the malicious websites, harmful websites, So the second one is a session hijack. So cookie hijack is exploiting a valid computer sessions origins keys to gain unauthorized access to information or services. So this one is a very popular one of the very popular, the session hijacking. Excuse me. The session hijack attack consists of exploitations of the web sessions control mechanism, so which is normally managed for a session token. So because the HTTP communication uses many different TCP connections, the web server needs a method to recognize every user's connections. The most useful method depends on the token the web server sends to the client browsers after a successful client authentications. Yes, a session token is normally composed of a string of variable width, and it could be used in different ways, like in the URL, in the headers of the HTTP requisitions as a cookies, in other part of the header of the HTTP request, or in the body of the HTTP requisitions. So the session hijacks attacks compromise the sessions tokens by stealing or predicting a valid session tokens to gain unauthorized access to the web servers. The sessions token could be compromised in different way. The most common are the predictable session tokens, session sniffing, client side attack, examples are XSS, malicious JavaScript, or Trojan, etc. And then man in middle attacks, a man in the browser. So you can see also in the pictures there is a very good example. So attacker send the data to victim. The victim just blindly click the link in the browser. So the victim clicks a visual harmless UI element and get clickjack. So that's the tool. So it's then redirect to the attacker's websites. So the browser opens target's websites automatically. So then the attacker gain access, so they steal the data. You're opening the door. So if you're not aware, if you're not sure, just ignore it, or just delete it, just skip that. The session is one of the best examples. Is a session for session sniffing. In the example, so as we can see, the attacker used a sniffer to capture a valid token sessions called session ID. Then they use the valid token session to gain unauthorized access to the web server. This is one of the best example. So also the cross sites, as I explained earlier. So cross sites is one of the powerful and then common way the hackers using to get the data, to gain the access. So the next one So network hijack attacks, MAC spoofing. So what is MAC spoofing? The media access control address is hard-coded a network interface control number. So many drivers allow the MAC address to be changed. A technique for changing a factory assigns MAC address of a network interface on a network. So you can see now the pictures. Attacker spoofed MAC address ABB, so AA, BB, CC, is sent to port 2. Then port 1, you can see that. So the MAC address. This the table. The MAC address will be changed in the switch port. Everything has happened in the switch port, so that the victim machines notified, oh, the MAC address somehow is changed, so I need to change my MAC address, something like that. So this is how is happening, the MAC address spoofing. So normally every device that contains network processors of a worldwide, so every device has a unique MAC address and physical identification number, we call it. The media access control address, or MAC for shorts, this burnt in address is a visually etching to the hardware by the manufacturer. Users are not able to change or rewrite the MAC address, but it's possible to mask it on the software side. This masking is what referred to the MAC spoofing. So you can't change, but you can mask the MAC address. So that's the main thing. So the next one is IP spoofing. So IP spoofing, a technique is used to gain unauthorized access to machines, whereby an attacker illicitly impersonates another's machines by manipulating IP packets. IP spoofing involves modifying the packet headers with a forged spoofing source IP address, a checksum, and order value. So the IP spoofing is a certain of internet protocol packets which have a modified source address in order to either hide the identifier of the sender, to impersonate another computer systems, or both. So IP spoofing is not illegal if you don't do anything illegal with it. However, IP spoofing is considered illegal if someone pretend to be someone else by using their IP and commit cyber crimes such as identity theft. So you can see in the pictures. So attackers and the attacker's real IP is 1.1.1.1.1. So spoofed 3.3.3.2. He spoofed the IP address as a 3.3.3.3, and the destination, he select the destination's IP. So he choose the destination IP is a 2.2.2.2. So on the internet router send the spoofed IP with the destination IP. So then the victim machines using that the spoofed IP, and the data and the system is breached. There's no possible security breach. So the trusted host is now open door for the attacker. So the next one, so ARP spoofing. So ARP spoofing, so when an attacker sends a fake ARP address resolution protocol, is a message, ARP message over a local area network. So it's the same concept, it's the same technique they're using, but they're using a different protocol. This results in the linking of the attacker's MAC address with the IP address of the legitimate computer or server on the network. So you can also see the ARP spoofing pictures routing under normal operations. So the normal operation is the communications between LAN users, the LAN gateway. There's a hub switch, so there's a direct connections. So after ARP poisoning, you can see the malicious users still gain access from the both way. So that is ARP spoofing. So yeah, there is a way to prevent the ARP spoofing. So we need to make a plan. So how you're going to apply, so no matter it's a small business or big company, you need to identify the spoof attack. So there's a lot of tools over there, so you have to find the right one. So how to prevent, so what tool suits your company, so everything. And then the next, so man-in-middle attacks. So man-in-middle attacks, an attack where the attacker secretly relies and possible alters the communication between two parties who believe they are directly communications with each other. The attackers may either observe or alter, so integrity attacks, so A and B are not sure, so what they are doing, if they are not sure, so the man-in-middle attack can happen in anything. So you need to be extra conscious on this. So you can see on the picture also, so the original connections and the new connections initiators in between user A and B, and then web applications. So the next one is a DDoS attacks, one of the oldest and very famous attacks. So preventing access to the resource by users authorized to use those resource attacking systems availability, so may accomplish deny access to informations, applicable applications, systems, or communications, bring down your websites while the communications and systems continue to operate, crash the operating systems, fill their communication channels of your networks, and prevent access. So DDoS service attacks. A DOS attacks utilize multiple compromised computer system as source of attack traffic. Amplify the concept of DOS attack by using multiple computer systems to conduct the attack against a single organizations. So normally the DDoS attack uses tools like a botnets, bot that floods the network with a single with signals overs and over again, which eventually causes the network to stop being able to process genuine requests from the user or other part of the networks. So web service and platforms are particularly at risk, as hackers can target critical service by overwhelming the network with the traffic. DDoS attacks are often used against a large business or banks. They can also cause problems with the business reputations if users do not know why a website or service is down for the reasons. Learning how to stop and prevent these attacks is crucial to business operations and success. There are few tools I recommend for preventing and stopping DDoS attacks: SolarWinds Security Event Manager, Cloudflare, Imperva. So these are what I like very much. These tools are what I like very much. So you guys can play around, because there's a trial versions also is there. Okay, next one. So DOS and DDoS preventions, as I said before, so work with your ISP network providers, border protection, intrusion detections, protection systems, intrusion, IDS, IPS is very important. So update network appliance, operating systems and applications, end user systems are up to date, or deploy antivirus port preventions. Yes, is needed. Antivirus is needed. Okay, amplifications attack. What is amplification attacks? The goal of the attacker is to get a response to their request in a greater than 1:1 ratio, so that the additional bandwidth traffic works the congest and slow the responding server down. The ratio achieved is known as the amplification factor, and high number are possible with UDP and based protocol such as NTP and CARGEN and DNS, usually employed as a part of a DDoS attack. So normally the you can see the pictures of bot spoofed request. So open DNS resolvers in the different DNS server. So they send a large response to the victim's target. So it's kind of a DNS spoofing, DNS amplifications attack. So that's it. So for next one's domain hijacking, DNS poisoning, or DNS spoofing. So as known as this resolution attack, so poisoning is when an attackers alter the domain name to IP address, mapping in DNS systems to redirect traffic to the rogue systems or perform a DDoS attack. I mean the DOS attack. So the spoofing is when an attacker sends false replies to the requesting systems in a place of a valid DNS response. Protect any internal DNS servers. Use authoritative DNS source. So those are the informations we need to be highlight. So when we implement the security posture. So wireless attack. So the wireless attack is evil. There's types of attacks. Is there? So evil twin. A rogue wireless access point poses as a legitimate wireless service provider to intercept informations that users transmit. So rogue AP, and you can also see the definitions. Any wireless access points added to your network that has not been authorized, and then IV, you can see those definitions and jamming. So what is the wireless attack? So with the widespread use of internet, we are able to conduct our business process online and without being tied down by cables and wires. Wireless networks are one of the relatively new technology brought to our lives by the internet technology, as you know. So they are easy to use, facilities our business process, and mobilize our business. On the downsides, wireless networks are much more valuable to attacks and intruder. So commonly known as the wireless network attacks, the penetrations and intrusions acts that targets wireless networks pose serious threats. Wireless networks attacks aim to capture the information sent across the networks and intrude with the traffic of informations. So this is it's a very big definitions. We can give the example as well. So pan wireless attacks, bluejacking, the sending of unsolicited message, like think spam, over a Bluetooth connections. So if you guys are aware of the bluejacking, it's sending, so everything is about the Bluetooth. So you need to update the version, the Bluetooth version, to prevent this. So normally the PDAs or laptop computer sending a vCard, which typically contain a message in the name field to another Bluetooth enabled device via the OBX protocol. So this is something you need to be extra care of this. So Bluesnarfing. So what is Bluesnarfing? So Bluesnarfing is almost same. So both Bluesnarfings and Bluejacking exploits are this Bluetooth connections without the knowledge. So that is the gain. So the main purpose, the gain of unauthorized access through a Bluetooth connections. So those technique use only using the protocol to crack the Bluetooth connections, intercept data through your Bluetooth connections. Okay, let's go for practice questions. So sample questions is of the below terms, which one best describe the types of attacks that capture portions of a session to play back later to convince a host that it continues to communication with the original system? Answer. Answer is replay. Go for next sample questions. 1 second. So you have one more sample questions. You have a user call you from a hotel saying there is an issue with your organization websites and that it looks like it has been compromised. You check it from your work at PS finds what is likely causes associated with the users at the hotel? Answer. Answer is DNS poisoning. Okay, that's it guys for this topic. So we will see on next topics. So please subscribe, press the bell button to get more update. See you, bye bye.